Hey guys, today we're going to talk about another problem feeder for us, Cirrhinus microlepis, also known as small-scale mud carp. It's a labion kind of fish, which means it's labeo-like. Often it used to be even in labeo genus, but it's not a sucker mouthed fish per se. It's a bit different. We too bought this fish just like the hero of the previous video, the NCC labeo berry. We bought Cirrhinus microlepis also from Jeff Rapps, also in January 2019 at 5 inches. And after about 5 months, in May 2019, it added only about 2 inches. And when it was in the tank, it was rather unremarkable. The tail was a bit reddish, and that's pretty much it. This is the first video of it in the grow out tank with all other carp. From what I remember, it took pellets okay. I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was underfeeding or had a problem. I wouldn't say it was feeding very well. Just a regular run-of-the-mill feeder. So at 5 inches, I wouldn't say we had much of a problem. 5 to 7 inches. That's some Google images of what adults look like. Jean-Francois with a couple of specimen. That's probably one of the biggest I came across. Jean-Francois says that they can grow to about 3 feet and 15 kilograms. So I trust him. He's a well-known angler in our hobby and in our I guess circles. Anyhow, so that was May. In September 2019, the mud carp was moved to the 25,000 gallons. So it's been with us about 9 months, 8 months. And I moved it into 25,000 when I moved all the carp in there. I tried to move everything, and one by one, they all ended up in there, including the small-scale mud carp. The move is reflected in this video for those of you who want to see it. And I'm reporting in May 2020, so that's about 9 months later, that the mud carp turned out to be a rather nasty tank mate. It turned out to be a slime eater. And it was doing it to many other carp, but it was tolerable because koi carp would not let it do it much, just for a split second. But it sustained itself pretty well on the slime. I had never seen it go for algae, and as I'll tell you later, no wonder it's not an algae eater. But the thing is, in May 2020, we already had beluga sturgeon enter the 25,000, and it was starting doing it to the belugas as well. So it had to leave. It got kicked out of the 25,000 gallons and went back to the 240 gallon. But while in the 25,000 gallons, it really blossomed. This is again back in the 240. These pictures don't make it justice. It looked much better in the 25,000 gallons. It had a green body, bright red tail. It had red in other fins. It looked vibrant. Jeff Rapps stopped by and saw it and was impressed. What else? Yeah, I noticed it's strange feeding habits. The mud carp opens its mouth a little bit, mostly working its lips. So when I throw in the pellets, it runs around, swims around with its lips moving fast. So as if trying to catch the pellets, I thought, but why not go down to the bottom and get as many as you want because they're lying on the bottom? I don't know. It's a funny feeder, and I already sensed 2 years ago that we're going to have a problem with it. And it's also very slowly growing. Okay, as I said, in the 240, it lost a lot of its attractive coloration, but still looked all right. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a starved fish. It's well proportionate. There is some footage in July 2020. It also feeds on glass minnows and on pieces of other fish, but also feeds in a funny way, which we're going to touch upon a little later. Finally, there is this February 2022 update. So as I said, this fish in February 2022, we've had it for about 3 years. Given that we got it at 5 inches, it's probably about 3.5, 4 years old. And it is currently about 14 inches. So not that much of a growth for 3 years. In 36 months, it added 9 inches. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's getting a little bit, like the head is getting bulkier, the body is getting thinner. Quite a bit different from what you see here. This is much more proportionate, even though you can see something similar in this body shape as well. But it's getting more pronounced later in life. Today, by the way, is May 4th, 2022. And on the second page of our thread on this fish, on the Monster Fish Keepers, we have a couple of videos on it as well. Some great footage in this video where the small-scale mud carp is feeding on a piece of, working on a piece of fish, but it's pretty much just grabs whatever sticks out of it and keeps sucking on it. It's not like it can grab a piece and eat it, which would have been wonderful, but it doesn't do that. It just grabs whatever's hanging out of the piece, like in a piece of intestine or whatever. I know it's kind of gory, and then it just keeps sucking on it, and I don't think it consumes much from it. There's another update in April 2022. Finally, I want to finish this portion of the video with the quotation from the fish base, that this fish inhabits large rivers and lowland floodplains, occurs in riffle and deep slow reaches, so it doesn't really care where it is. But when it moves out into the flooded forest, it is reported to feed on leafy plant matter, phytoplankton, and insects. So as you can see, there is no crustaceans, there is no algae on this list. And as I just mentioned, I've never seen it graze on algae either, as long as we had it. All right, so what else can I tell you? We're going to probably cut to the video now, and I'm going to show it to you, and we're going to talk about it a little bit during the video.